Hi, welcome back to Classroom Chronicles. Today we're going to comb through some hair-raising idioms, from pulling your hair out to letting your hair down. Get ready to brush up on your English with fun expressions all about hair.
Why are you staring at the mirror again?
Do you think I'm going bald? Look right here. It's a hair's breadth from disappearing.
You're 23. You're not going bald. You're just obsessed with every hair out of place.
I know. I'm just getting in a hairy situation with this date later.
Well, don't tear your hair out over it. If they like you, they'll like your hair too.
Did you catch all the hair idioms? Let's go and have a look at some of these in more detail. Bald or going bald? Going bald is hair falling out. Means a white patch, often an animal's bald eagle. Number 2, hair's breadth. So this means a near miss, like in the picture the snake's nearly disappearing. And this has been used since the 15th century to indicate narrow margins or small distances. Number 3, hair out of place or not a hair out of place, which means perfect or nothing missed. This emerged in fashion commentary in the 20th century, emphasising precision. Number 4, hairy situation. This is a scary or worrying situation from the mid-800s to 1930s. US soldiers described dangerous missions. Number 5, tearing your hair out. Definition: to be super worried or frustrated about something. You can be frantic. This idiom was mentioned in the Bible, mentioned in the Old Testament of Ezra. Let's check out the next scene for more idioms.
Alexis, have you finished the quarterly report?
It's hanging by a hair. I just need 10 more minutes.
I don't want you getting overloaded again. Last time you were late, you were dragged through the hair by the regional manager.
I know. I was told off and then got in a hairy argument with HR. But I've smoothed things over now.
Good. Cut a hair out of place again, and you'll be on thin ice.
Okay, so let's have a look at these hair idioms in more detail. So number 6, hanging by a hair. This means risky or unstable position. This is from an ancient story of Damocles, who sat beneath a sword suspended by a single hair, symbolising danger hanging over him. So number 7, dragged through the hair. This means to treat someone roughly, but more in a psychological situation, especially if you're kind of grilled, you're spoken to a lot about a situation that you might not like and you regret, you feel guilty about. Number 8, hairy argument. This is normally an intense verbal argument. In the sentence example, she could be almost losing her job. So this is quite a worrying situation. The etymology, it comes from the 1920s and the 1930s, and just generally comes from risky situations. So number 9, put a hair out of place. I know we've had this one before, although this expresses a small mistake that could lead to a serious trouble, like the picture. So if you imagine standing on a piece of ice and it might not weight bear, and it's very thin, obviously there's going to be bad consequences. So here's the final scene with more hair idioms.
All right, class. We're revising today's homework. Maya, you look like you're pulling your hair out.
Miss, I studied all night for the test. And then I left my notes, notebook, and pencil case at home. It's so annoying.
Don't worry, Maya. Just let your hair down after school. Relax a bit.
Yes, good use of idioms, Timmy. That deserves a gold star.
But I've been splitting hairs on these grammar rules all week.
Let's not split hairs now. You'll be fine, don't worry.
So Maya's pulling her hair out, which means she's in despair, she's very nervous, she has an exam. So let's look at the last 3 idioms in detail. So number 10, let your hair down. Obviously this picture is a bit of an exaggeration, but in the example sentence she said, just let your hair down after school, relax a bit. So it means to, in the literal sense, to loosen your hair or relax after a busy day. And this is from the 17th century Europe, particularly among women of the upper classes who had their hair pinned up in a bun or in like a wig type thing, and they could take it off at the end of the day to relax. Number 11, splitting hairs. If you're splitting hairs over these grammar rules in the example, that means you're getting caught up into fine distinctions that are really quite trivial. So I've put splitting hairs and split hairs together. It dates back to the 17th century, referring to fine or overly subtle distinctions that are really not important. So there you have it. 3 scenes, 12 expressions, and one unifying thread, hair. You might have noticed something interesting along the way. Nearly every hair idiom we used showed in moments of stress, pressure, or trouble. From tearing your hair out to being in a hairy situation, hair in English often gets pulled into the drama of life. Whether it's siblings arguing, office tension, or classroom chaos, these phrases help us express the emotional messiness we all experience, using something as ordinary as our hair. I'd like to thank everyone for joining me in this episode of Classroom Chronicles. Get ready to the next episode, which is all about eyes. That's right, 12 new eye idioms with 3 scenes, more storytelling, and of course, more English that you can really use. See you there.